microphone on? It was under your hair. I couldn't see it.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
It is morning.
It is that. And today is Digital Dealer. This is a super cute little guy.
Yeah.
But there are a couple steps to making him.
Yes.
So
we'll get to do a little bit of movie magic today. So this video, otherwise this video would be really long.
It might just be that.
So because there's a ton of different little pieces and parts. None of them are hard, but you do just have to keep doing it. So we're going to tell you what we did, which might help you organize a little bit more. We put our 7x12 hoop on. And we are doing all 3 projects for this
on the water soluble in one hooping instead of having to hoop what would be a total of 4 times. We're going to hoop twice.
So we have a standard wash away in our hoop, and then we also have Badge Master. Since we're going to be kind of pulling this in and out a couple of times, we do have our regular wash away on the top because we have some applique pieces instead of the Badge Master on the top. So it
makes that a little less slippery of a surface to try to keep those fabrics in place.
Exactly. But we're putting multiple projects in a hoop, so 1 layer is probably not enough.
No, and the number of stitches, you've got a lot of satin stitches and things. I would not just put 1 layer of wash away in.
Yes.
If you are doing this in multiple hoopings, I think for all 3 of those, I would probably put 2 pieces, whether I'm doing mesh and Badge Master, I would still use 2 for
pieces,
everything.
Yep.
You've got a lot of satin stitches and things that are going to be
small.
Yeah. So it's going to grab that and just suck that right in. So
it sure
Badge
is.
Master will definitely help prevent that pulling in
Yep.
more so than 2 layers of mesh. But if that's what you have, then that's what you should use.
Exactly.
All
so
right.
We've got a couple of bobbins done with a couple different colors because this is a freestanding project. So you'll be seeing
both sides of the feet and whatnot coming up. So you want to have that pretty on both sides. So the gold, the brown that matches the leather, the green that we're using for the legs.
Yes.
And the we're using a dark gray, not a black. You could do either. And we have a matching bobbin of that. I think that is everything.
Yes.
But we'll let you know if we missed one as we're going.
That is right. So, and then we are using our kit. So if you're using your own fabrics, you might change your colors a little bit. But we are using our...
That's the background. Doesn't matter. We'll get there.
Right. Our fabrics. So without further ado, should we just start?
We should.
Okay.
Absolutely should.
So I'm going to put the camera on the machine here.
So here is our beautiful hoop space. I can make that a little bit bigger.
All right. And we have gold in. So we're using a Floriani color PF561. Yes.
Yeah, this is the gold we had from our Bella box, if that matters to any of you. And we are starting with the coins stitch out at the top of the hoop.
Yes. Yep, I'm going to just shimmy it this way.
Cool.
All right. So I am going to just, I think that's probably okay.
I think you're probably good.
Good?
Later. Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
We can trim later if we need to. So this does have a fusible backing on it, making sure that it's going to withstand, again, all of the things that we're going to do to it. First thing is that tack down, and then there is going to be a center stitch that's telling me where to
Trim.
cut. Yep. Be careful not to cut the stabilizer.
Well, good thing we have two. But you could also, if you accidentally cut your stabilizer, you can definitely
you can
patch.
put some patch underneath if
Yep.
that happens.
I'm gonna have to get scabby. Wow, and that's gonna be really small too.
That'll be fun.
I mean, you know it's got to be small because it's going on a jar, but but I have a seam ripper over here. I don't know how sharp it is. If you need that to get into the, you have your little.
There was some micro tips over here. Those might come in handy.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to take this over and attempt to cut in the correct spot. So I don't know how well you can see up there, but there's that center stitch out in here. And these are my micro tip. So they have a nice, and they're also a little curved at the top there. So I am going to just stab and snip until I can get something I can put those scissor tips in. Question is, do I also, I don't think I got through the
Backing.
the fusible backing. Well, that's a challenge. All right, there we go. I don't know, might be easier to do them each at the individual times. So that is stabilizer I'm seeing underneath there, which is what I want.
All right, good job. So you're just going to keep snipping away, right?
Just gonna snip, snip, snip. And I'm just taking small little bites to kind of work my way around there.
Yeah, you can kind of see the stabilizer starting to peek through there.
Yep.
Yep, it's really small.
It's not huge. All right, with that trimmed out, we're now going to do a satin stitch around the edge, still in that gold. We doesn't matter what the back looks like yet, right? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, just checking. That's on the freestanding ones?
Yep.
Probably? Okay.
It does not like that yellow print. It kind of makes it yellow, like blurry.
Yeah, it's not able to focus on it. I wonder. Better or worse?
That's probably better. All right, so this is a couple of minutes of stitching, and then we will move on to the next part. We are finished with our satin stitch, and then we're going to keep the same color gold in, and we are going to do the outline of some of the coins. These are the coins that are going to have the heat transfer vinyl, the glitter vinyl.
Yep. So placement line.
We are on step number 9, but color number 4 for this particular design.
And again, we're not really following the order in the directions. Just based on what number that was loaded into the hoop when.
Yep.
But it doesn't really matter.
No.
You just need to do these parts before you do the base, of course, because otherwise they aren't done.
Exactly.
You can't, that doesn't work.
No. It's like a 3D element, so you have to do the embellishments first.
Exactly. We're embellishing.
We are. I know, right?
Okay. Are we taking from our stack?
Yep.
Is there 2 pieces of this?
There is.
I guess we'll
I don't
find
know.
that out.
Yep.
All
right.
All right.
So we're going to just make sure that we place that over top.
Oh, the next one's leather.
Again, staying with that same color.
You could, of course, change colors here if you wanted to. We just decided we were not going to. We're going to stick with one color of gold.
And this will be it. This is the decorative stitch around the outside edge and the final stitch. There's no other one after this. They do recommend that you heat this after it's finished stitching. When it's done stitching, we're going to go ahead and just tear the vinyl away from the outside edge. You could, of course, choose to trim around there if you want.
These papers are heat pad.
For high tech here.
Yeah. Did you chuck the tops of those?
Nope.
Thanks. Now Sarah's favorite part.
I know, I love doing this. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to like kind of tear on an angle there. And then I'm just going to tear this around the outside edges. So it'll just perforate.
Yep. So tear towards your stitching and kind of at an angle around those edges, and it comes right off.
Yep.
And it saves so much time in trying to trim that.
Yep. You might need a little pair of tweezers to get the pieces in the middle, because
there is some in the middle that isn't going to come super easy. Question is, do we have tweezers? Why don't we ever have tweezers over here?
I know, we have like a million pair in the store.
Little snips that you could.
That'll probably work.
Okay.
You just got to get a hold of it. And there's a little piece in between there.
You want to?
Oh, sure.
Otherwise, I'm going to elbow you again.
Right. And then we're just going to do a little dab of heat on here so that it stays. Last little piece right there. That's
so
to be a booger.
In that, and you could certainly trim it.
There we go. I think that's good. Oh.
Oh. All right. Well, you fix that while I do this.
How did that even happen?
I've never seen that happen before. I have no idea what happened there. We're very magical.
Apparently. Like my arm just gently touched the screen over here, and then it decided that it was gonna do its own thing, and it rebooted to the beginning of the design.
So I am. That little piece doesn't want to go away, does it?
No.
All right. I'm going to take one of my original plastics and cover that up. Kind of warm. And press on that for about 15 seconds.
You do want to be careful that you don't have any steam in there, guys, because you've got wash away stabilizer.
Yes, no steam here.
Also a good reason if you're using Badge Master to have that at the bottom. You don't want to melt it.
Okay, that definitely got hot enough. I wasn't sure. Just plugged that in. So I wasn't sure if we were. Let's not get that in there.
Okay. And now we're going to do
layer number 2.
The placement line for the leather.
That's gonna have to trim.
Yes. So we'll show you a little bit of the trimming, and then we'll do a little movie magic and
I'm just going to get rid of that page. All right. And while I am trimming, you can do that.
I will.
Change.
Yep.
So this is kind of like the base that goes inside of the cauldron that we'll be stitching in that final piece.
Right.
And so these are the coins that are on it.
Yeah.
And they're in gold glitter and gold leather. That's what this guy is here. So here's some gold leather. We're going to completely cover that up and tack it down. It's definitely an oversized piece. It's a lot more material than I would. But from a kit perspective, it's good that they have enough.
Yeah.
They could probably get 2 out of this if they really tried.
Yeah.
We were just discussing how much leather is in the kit piece, and you could probably get 2 stitch outs of this if you were attempting. So it's a lot easier to find miscellaneous fabrics, but sometimes the embellishment parts, it's really hard to get that little piece that you need of those.
Yep.
I don't know that it's going to work for all of the different kit pieces, but this particular, it does. So.
All right. So now Lisa's going to trim.
And
I'm going to change the bobbin so that we have the gold in it. So for the next part. And just slow and steady all the way around the outside edges of that.
be
really
careful not to cut into what's going on underneath.
Right. Or into your threads. You're going to have just a little bit of an edge around each of these pieces. You kind of have to decide how much edge you want, right?
Yes.
All right. So
you'll have more room around the outsides than you will, you know, obviously there's some overlapping. Got all of the leather trimmed up, so now we're going to work the other portion of that design, which is going to be the loose pieces. We need to see the placement line for that. Do recommend that you have your bobbin changed already at this point, which Sarah lovingly did while I was trimming that wonderful leather. So I think she got the better end of the stick.
I think I did too. And it's not leather now.
Tulle,
it's
then,
tulle and
then mylar.
mylar. And the tulle goes first.
Tulle goes first.
Okay. Something fell behind it.
Okay.
Feels like there should be like a beep, beep, beep.
A little. I'm looking at this picture that's in the instructions. It does not match the picture that is on the screen.
No, it does
Just
not.
FYI.
There
There
totally
are a
looks-
lot more on the hoop in the design than there are in the picture.
Yeah, it's very
By
strange.
far.
It's like they
twice
doubled
as
it.
much.
Yeah.
yeah, like only this lower portion is in the instructions. So all of those, just FYI. Like,
Yeah, your picture is not an accurate representation of what you're doing. It's very strange.
it's not normal for them. I'm surprised that
I think that maybe they did it and then decided that it
we
needed
needed more and
double it. Yeah.
yep. So we're gonna put some tulle over that first, and because they're of the layers, I figured we could probably tape. What do you think? Tape
Yeah.
both layers.
Yeah.
Mylar stitches better if it's nice and flat, and for that to be nice and flat, this needs to be nice and flat.
So we're taping the tulle down.
Because of course, once I put Mylar over it, I can't touch it.
Right.
All right, I think that looks
Can't
nice and
touch this.
smooth. Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
I think so.
All right, and now we're going to lay the Mylar right over top of that. And there's still a couple pieces of tape here, so we can tape that in place.
And that Mylar is so slippery.
All right, so that is going to keep everything there, hopefully,
Yes.
while it's stitching. And now we are going to, oh wait, now it says we're supposed to put another layer of tulle. I think
That
that's
makes more
probably,
sense, right? Yeah, I
yeah.
probably just cut a big piece. Do we want to add one more piece of tape on the edge there?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you wouldn't see it, right? Can you get in there? Am I just making it worse?
You're good.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
We now have a Mylar sandwich with tulle on each side. And this is color, well, we're still in the first one. So
Yep.
it's color stop 9. And again, you do want matching bobbin.
Yep. We're right on that tape. Yeah. Right on there. I know. And then we get to trim around it afterwards, right?
We do. And where Mylar will tear,
The
tulle will not. So this is going to be a trimming step.
It does not look cute on the screen at all. It's really cute here.
It is really cute, I promise.
Yeah, the gold just does, it looks like cheap fake gold, doesn't it?
It a little bit, yeah.
It's like what your fake gold starts to look like after it starts to turn a little green. But that's not what it looks like in person.
It's very, very pretty.
So, and I imagine we put the netting underneath it so that you can see, because these are ones you're going to see on both sides.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would you have the netting on the bottom?
For strength, maybe? I mean, outside of that, I don't know. That's all I got. I don't know. To give something for the stitches to hang on to.
Right.
Because it's going to do a little stitch over it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the fill. We are almost there. I've got one more going to go over here, and then I get to trim.
Yay! I know how excited. You woke up this morning and you were just itching to do
I was just like, I need to trim some stuff,
coins.
man. I need to do some trimming.
Super small stuff. That would just make my day.
You know what would make my day is if I could trim off chunks of meat.
Right?
That would be better.
Carve that off.
All right. So again, we're going to trim at this point. And I need to remove all 3 of the layers excess I've got here. Do we have any more leather? or I'm sorry, glitter that we're stitching anywhere?
I don't think so.
I'm just wondering about unplugging that iron.
I think we can unplug the iron. That would get out of your way, right?
Well,
One less cord.
one less cord, and I mean, I already knocked it over.
Yeah.
Tried ironing some carpet, my foot.
Yeah, it's really close to these spool threads too.
Oh. Whoops. That was better than my foot.
That was better than your foot. Yep. See, we have all the fun here, guys. You just don't even know. All right. So she's going to trim these really close, and then we're going to do the satin stitch around the outside edge here.
All right. So I have the tulle and the mylar trimmed. There are some rough edges, but I'm hoping that the satin stitches are going to grab that, because I think there's a pretty good decorative stitch over all of that.
Looks like it.
But that was fun.
Yeah. So
All right.
take your time with that.
Take your time and get into those nooks and crannies, and kind of angle it a little to make sure you got all 3 layers.
Yeah.
That was the other.
And then you also trimmed off some of the...
I did. There was a lot of threads from the knots on the back, and those are just going to be sticking out of your coins.
Right.
At odd angles. So I did clean up
They'll
the
look
back.
like dirty coins.
Right. I did clean up the back of the hoop a little bit. I didn't get everything, but I made it way better than it was. So here we go with color stop 10, which is going to do the decorative fill and satin outlines.
And this is a long stitch out.
10 minutes.
So we won't subject you to all 10 minutes of this.
So that finishes the coins. Our next step is going to be working on the handles and the feet. So
we might need to trim a little bit.
I think we're going to trim a little bit of that off. Yeah. And then we're going to start working with the green. So we are also going to need a green bobbin and our green, I think we're doing this one, right?
I think so, yep.
Yep, so we're going to need the green thread in along with a matching.
Oop, we lost our sticky.
I'm like, what was that?
Yep. All right, so she's just trimming
I'm just going to get a little bit more stitch space.
And I am changing the bobbin to our green. And we are using exquisite number ES990 as our green color.
Just flip back over here. And then the first thing is going to be where we put our green felt. And this is just the decorative color that we've chosen. So that will go, so this will be the placement line. And then we will put a piece on the back and a piece on the front.
I'll hand those to you.
All right, so we are going to start with the back of the hoop.
Be
so
careful.
Here is my piece. I'm just going to nip off those long tails.
We have Badge Master on the bottom, so that's why that looks a little shinier.
And I'm going to take one guy, completely cover up those stitches. Make sure you don't press too hard in there. You want to make sure everything is staying aligned.
If you have those...
if you have a press pad in there, those work perfect for this. And I am going to tape my corners. And get that corner very well. Hopefully that's enough. Give it just a little more love there. All right, so you can always double check and make sure your shadow should completely cover. And then before I go back there. We're going to just place piece number 2. You can, of course, tape the top piece. I'm sure you're all shocked to hear that I'm not going to.
Rebel.
I know. And then we're going to tack that down. That go around twice?
It did not,
Okay, so I'm not crazy? I
Nope.
thought it was going to.
but it's got something else. What is that?
That is going to be where we place it in the final. So I need to cut first.
Okay.
And then we'll stitch
Okay.
that guy there.
All right. Trim both the front and the back, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So here we go. Just a trimming fool today. And I happen to be using scissors that only have a very small sweet spot. Otherwise, I would be taking much bigger bites, but they don't cut if I do that. I can only use tips of these to dig around and find. I know there's a better pair around this joint. So, these aren't them.
No, but those are your favorite double
The right
curve,
type.
6-inch
Yeah.
double curves.
They're just very well loved and they're dull.
All right, so she's just going to finish trimming up the top, and then she's going to flip around and carefully trim the back.
Yep, I'm going to do the same thing front and back. Next, we are going to stitch placement lines on there. This will show you where to place it in the final project and also where to, I believe, place stuff on the ends there.
Okay.
But I could be wrong on that one. We'll find out soon, I'm sure.
I already changed it to match the bobbin.
I know, because it said that on the other page. And then we just have the same color, I guess, is where I was.
Yep. So we're still using that same color green, and we do have a matching bobbin thread in.
Leg outline and placement guides. It's just leg outline. It's not place. It said placement guides, and I was like, oh, well, what else are we gonna place?
Yeah.
It's got a very large belt. It's going to get tucked into gold. All right, now we are going to do the satin stitch along his pants.
We're going to keep the same
And
color.
we're gonna do the same.
Yep. So if you want to change to a different green, you'll still want to have a matching bobbin for
Matching
whatever
bobbin
color.
for this step, regardless of what color you've decided to use.
Because the pants are definitely going to be 3D up there.
Yeah, you'll see that, the back of that, most definite. Once we finish these guys here, we are going to change our bobbin and our top thread to brown. And we are using color 624. And we do have that matching bobbin already done. So we liked how that looked with the brown leather. And that is going to be beginning the shoes. So we'll have a placement line, and then we'll add the leather to both the front and the back of them.
Yep, almost there.
You want the bobbin or you want the top?
I'll do the bobbin.
Okay. Go.
Okay. It's like a pit crew.
Right. Okay, stop. Oh, that is the greatest movie. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Nope, I'm good. Okay.
Perfect. Look at that teamwork. Makes the dream work.
Okay.
Here we go. Placement line.
For our booties.
Ma's placed on this chair. Where's yours?
Oh, they seem really big
They do.
in proportion to the
I
legs.
completely agree.
No offense to people who have large feet, but those feel like there might be a little bit unproportioned to his legs.
Very lucky leprechaun right there. Okay, so we're going to tape our leather to the back of the hoop and then place the leather on the front. Cue. I would generally say tape all 4 corners. I'm just going to go across the entire end. It will do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty short.
And double check that you've got space everywhere. Definitely a little, but I think I'm good. Off to the side, one side, but there's space.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to cover that. And tack that down. They are not calling for topper for this guy. Color. Happy with that. We are not trimming at this time. We are now going to stitch the next color, which is the same thing. It's going to do an outline of the shoe. Inside of there, a little decorative line. Oops, sorry. That's the actual trim line that we did first. Something's not right there. I have never figured out how it comes out of the needle while it's stitching like that and continues to stitch.
Yes.
But that's what just happened.
Thank you for doing that on the leather.
Yes, that's so nice of you. I don't know. You think we can get that out? You think it's going to make a bigger mess?
It's probably going to come right out.
Okay, pause. Well,
we're going to try that part again.
So.
Sounds better.
A whole lot better. Love it when it messes up on leather, though, don't you? It just makes my day.
Like you said, how does a needle come unthreaded in the middle of sewing?
And then how does it keep stitching?
Right.
And it actually creates very messy ones, but it creates stitches. That's baffling to me.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we are not trimming the leather at this time.
The first line would be your trim line. This is the decorative
this
stitch.
Is the decorative stitch. So once we remove everything, we will be trimming on that line there, but we're not doing that. So leave everything right there. We're going to do one more stitch in this brown. More detail. Little bar at the top. Like the cuff of the boot or what. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to switch to the gold, which is going to do a little buckle.
And we want to put
and we want to match
bobbin thread
yes,
again, right?
We do.
Hope I ran enough back. What? We're gonna run out.
It's just a little square on each side. It should
be fine.
Be fine, I think.
It'll go around 72 times just because I was like, oh, that'll be enough.
So gold thread is over there. You want to pass me that? Am I doing the top again?
Sure.
Okay. Getting ready.
Getting ready. Warming up. How quickly we can do this.
Good stop. My kids used to walk around saying that. They just loved little Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, that was Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From Mario Kart.
Mario.
Yeah.
No. Not Mario. The Cars.
Mm.
The little guy with the
Yeah.
forklift that did the pit stop.
Yeah. I think you.
All by himself.
Yeah. There we go.
Nothing like sharing the same
space.
Air. Dead air. Dead rat air.
I said mouse, just
whatever.
It sounds better.
It does. You're not wrong. All right. So this is going to do the buckle. And again, matching bobbin, both sides. Gonna look pretty. Hopefully. All right. And then we're going to move on to our handles.
Handles. What did we call them? Horseshoes earlier.
They
That look like horseshoes.
I was like, what is this? I guess it goes in the little bump of the shoe though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So this finishes that. So the next thing that we'll have is the placement for our handles. And we are using dark gray, which is color number 117. And we do,
We're going to probably want the bobbin thread to be the same too.
I think we're going to match. It doesn't specifically say to do so, but I think that we'll be better off with that.
Do. Okay.
It'll,
Okay. I could have given that to you. I just wanted you to work harder. Right? Good thing we weren't timing that one. The embroidery arm is so close, I couldn't get my hand in there.
Well, that was part of the reason that I wasn't trying to share the same space with you. I was like, there's no space there.
Okay. And we've got felt going on the top and the bottom of this one. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we just need to know where to put it, which is what's coming up right here. There. Oh, that's big. I like his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Shitzer. Okay. Okay, one more time. Gonna tape some stuff to the back here. Ooh, that's got lots of messies.
You all right?
Yep.
Did you stab yourself?
Yep. So there's this thing about trying to catch falling scissors.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not a good plan. Ow. Oh, crying out loud. It's good enough. All right, we're going to cover those babies up. And again, I'm going to just run tape along the whole edge there, which catches all four corners. But you do not want to leave a corner uncaught, otherwise it can bend back. And with all of this work, God forbid we have to redo something.
That would be awful.
I feel like this is...
Yeah.
It's like The Never-Ending Story. It's a great movie.
Yes.
But, all right, so this is going to give us tack down trim lines. And then after this, there's another line, I believe, inside of that that's going to be the decorative piece. So this is where you're going to trim, and then the next one's going to keep it all together.
Okay.
We're just going to hit go again. Okay, so this is the final stitch of this part of the pattern. Oh, you know what I don't know that we got was a cream, like a white color, which we are going to probably need, don't you think?
Probably. Yeah, not this.
that one.
I mean, I guess it's white, but it's not terrible. Let's use that. Yeah. There's a lot of steps to making this.
There's a couple.
Yep.
All right, we are going to switch to our standard embroidery bobbin because we are now moving on to the tag. And our top thread is going to be
ES 101.
You could use a lot of different colors for this. First of all is the placement and tack down trim line, which again is technically not going to show.
Right.
But I don't like them to be really dark. I feel like remnants seem to get left behind.
Yeah.
So we're going to be working right here now and making the tag, which says you're in luck. All right.
And this is the last project that is on the water soluble.
We do need this.
Yes. And you should have a topper.
So it's going to tack that down first, and then we put this down according to the instructions. So that is the trim line. So, yep, go for it there. Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah, it's a good color choice with it.
All right, so that is again the trimming line. So when we're all done, where we're going to actually cut, before we stitch anything else, we need to cover it up with our water soluble topper. I've already got tape on the ends of those, so it should stay in position. So now we're going to switch to the lighter. Yes,
yep.
That one.
ES 1619. So this is kind of like a bright, light, springy green.
This is going to be for the clover. And do you have the gray? You do.
Mm-hmm.
That one, and then probably back to that one.
Just a couple of minutes of stitching for this. All right, we're just finishing up our clover. And then we are going to switch to the gray. And do the, start the words. So, you're in is next. And I'm using that ES 117 again.
I like that color choice for that, though. That was a good.
Oh, that's cute, yeah.
Springy. Okay. It says it's a minute. Do you think it'll cut stitches, or you think it'll jump?
They're pretty small. I'm thinking it might jump. Yep.
One jump.
If you have,
you could use some fine line or something like that on this if you wanted.
Yeah, you could also, there might be just it's hard to tell if it's bobbin thread pulling up in it or if it's just the leather. But I probably would use fine line with this if I were gonna make another tag. It's a lot of stitching in a really small area. Bobbin thread.
Fine line, then I would match your bobbin thread.
With it. Yeah. Oh, but it's gonna cut here.
Well, we're almost done. It's okay.
We are.
And then the word luck is going to be done in green. We're going to use the same green we used in the first part of the stitch out for that part,
which was ES990.
The longest N ever.
Because it cut. All right.
Once this stitches, we are going to place the second piece of leather on the back, change back to that 101, and then 101?
101, yep.
And then tack the two pieces together.
Yes.
And that will then finish this set of things.
All right, we're finishing up our lucky.
So even though it's cutting between the letters, there is a little bit of trim work that needs to be done, at least in the middle of the C there.
Yeah, in between the L and the U.
There's something like top to the bottom of the C.
Yeah.
And here looks like an exclamation. And then I will tape and you can change.
Yep.
All right.
And we're just going to leave our weight in the bobbin for
that's
this.
more
It'll
than
be
fine.
close enough.
Absolutely.
All righty. Just got that little circle to do. Hurry up.
Evidently, we don't have patience today. Not stitching fast enough for us. All right. Tag team, here we go. I'm going to tape onto the back, and Sarah's going to put our 101 back in the top of the machine. And I think all of those threads are going to behave enough. I'm just going to, again, make sure that your corners are completely covered there so nothing folds.
Okay.
And final stitch is going to be just inside that original one. And it will tack that back on.
Mm-hmm. Then we're going to be moving on to our base. So you're going to want to have some no-show mesh. And we're going to do this in a 5x7 hoop.
Da-da-da. I have to remember that. I like the way that looks on the, you know.
Right, it's like the right shape.
Gray. It's not, it's just a nice, but you can see it instead of having it completely just wash in. And
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we have our no-show mesh loaded in our hoop here, and I have the jar base started. Lisa is, I'm going to flip over here, so she's trimming up the pieces. So
getting them out of.
And then we're going to just start moving on to a couple of the pieces over here to get ready. So, all right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is a placement line for the fabric. They've got your, you can do this like whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go to this green color, ES 1619, just because that's the color that I decided to do like the decorative background tack down stitch in. And we have our regular embroidery bobbin in. So
that do its thing.
So I'm going to put the base fabric down. There isn't anything on the back of this. We probably, you don't want to add anything to the back. That's going to just make holding and maintaining whatever it is that you're doing with this just that much harder to get into that jar topper. So not necessary.
Handles over there.
I do.
Are a little too big.
And it's do not trim the fabric, so we're not doing that. And now it's going to do like that little, I don't know, seed stitch or decorative sort of fill stitch around the edge here. Oh, it's a little teeny tiny like stipple stitch. All right, so the circle has finished stitching, and now I'm going to stitch the placement part for the coin base that we did.
Did I give you those? The directions and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so you can change to whatever color you would like right now. You can leave it as the green. I'm going to go ahead and just change it to the gold because that's the color that I'm going to do for the stitch on the coin base, just so it blends in a little bit. So I'm back to that Floriani 561.
Love that color.
All right. So,
okay, we've got 2 handles down here.
yay.
We've got your coin part.
Oh, so these are just going to be like little corner pieces here to line up.
It just tells you where to place that.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to need the cape.
Oh, almost threw our coins out.
Don't do that.
No, no, no.
Hi. How you guys doing? Good. How are you? The scan and cut stuff's on the other side. Yeah. All right. So we are gonna Lisa.
Sorry. We are going to stitch a circle on there, and then I'm going to trim away the excess.
It's supposed to go all the way out to here. I think I did the wrong size.
I think I did the wrong cut. I bet you there was, I cut the top part. I just assumed that was, maybe.
No,
Yeah.
I think we picked the...
We did one size of one and one size of the other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see what we get. Tack that baby down.
Okay.
Because, you know.
We're going to make it work. So this is what happens when you mix and match your pieces.
So we have one wide mouth and one...
I'm thinking. Ironically, I mean, the circle fits.
It's possible that there was something else on the stabilizer and I just missed it.
Well, now, I mean, I think maybe it's going to be okay. Now it says to trim
So we're good.
around that. Okay, so we're good. So
Good,
now you have to
good-
trim
good
around
enough
that.
anyway.
So I don't know what we did, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
I thought I picked all the right pieces. Maybe we just weren't supposed to cut. I don't know.
Okay.
But it fits. So we're going to trim right up against, can you slide up just a little?
I can. Is it supposed to be in the middle? Does it matter?
Maybe not.
Okay. Just we'll
We'll
gonna
make
go
it
with
work.
We're gonna go with what we got.
I don't think you're cutting through the opening in anymore. Oh,
so
boy.
our piece is still wet. So that's why you see the discoloration on there is from the water. That's just, you know, when you don't have time in between stitch outs to finish that, that's what you're seeing there. So apologies, that looks a little off.
Okay, we're going to be using the handles next. So I'm going to go ahead and switch colors to
There we go.
gray.
See if I can get a little bit more of that tape off. There we go. All right. And we don't need to worry about bobbin at this point, right?
No, I don't think we need to worry about it at all.
Okay. So put that back in spot for you there.
All right, so now I'm going to put the dark gray back on, and we're going to do the handle cauldron placement pieces. Do we have another water soluble topper anywhere?
I don't think we do, but I can get one.
Okay, we're going to need it.
For a while we had the roll over here, but
did.
I think the roll got stolen. I'll be right back.
Okay, these are the little handle pieces that she cut out. So they are going to go in. That's what this little line is here. It's the placement for those.
I'm over here putting the rotary cutter in the drawer because that's super helpful.
Okay. Shoot, and then I dropped a handle. Oh. Okay, so now we're going to line those handles up, and then we're going to tape over top of them. And they are going to place the cauldron handles along the placement lines as shown, tape in place.
But if you see anything that you like, just put it on the cutting table and one of us will come cut it for you. So if anything with these green stickers, which is this area here. Yeah. You're welcome.
So I'm gonna tape this just above where I think it's gonna stitch it down, just so that I don't have to deal with that. And again, we're gonna place this right over top of those lines. You might want to leave that gold in there to see the lines a little easier.
Definitely makes a difference, doesn't it?
Right. All right. So tape, tape. Now we're going to stitch the handles down. It says carefully. go. We can pull this tape off. And we're going to put a water-soluble topper over top of the whole piece now. That'll help the foot so that it doesn't get caught on everything. So, water-soluble topping. Then we're going to do the cauldron rim. So I'm going to just tape this down a little bit so it doesn't move on us. Oh, okay. Now we're going to do a couple circles.
All right, I've got a nice mess over here.
Okay, now we are going to take our black felt and we're going to place the cauldron rim felt covering the placement lines and then tape in place.
Are we now?
That is going to go over here.
Oh, it's going to be a ring.
It's going to be a ring.
Okay, I
Yep.
get it.
Okay. Once we're done with this, we are going to remove the felt on the outer line first.
Okay, so I'm going to trim around the outside.
Yep.
Okay. That was abrupt.
All right, and then you are going to, all right, I don't know, they really word this very strangely. So step number 19 says, trim the felt only along the outer tack down. Be careful not to cut any layers beneath the felt, including the topper. Then step number 20 says, trim inside of the inner tack down line, close to the inner stitch. Be careful not to cut any of the layers of the topping. So you're basically going to cut on the inside of the small circle and on the outside at this point, even though they kind of separated
They
as
put
two
it in
different
two
steps.
different steps. It is still both sides getting done.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass that to you.
All right, so we are going to, oh, what did I just put on the floor? Hope that wasn't important.
Then we are going to stitch the gold coins placement. So
Is that going to tell us just where to glue them, or is there a stitch down too?
and then place the remaining gold coins leather right side up, covering the placement line. All right, so the first, it's going to do our next leather. Wow, there's a lot of stuff piled on top of this. Okay, well, the good news is we are getting close to the end of the stitching part.
All right, there's the outside. Now I'm removing the inside.
Yes. And I'm going to change back to gold.
So I just stabbed into the center, and now I'm cutting a line out to the edge, and I am going to just work my way around. trying not to cut anything other than the felt. So there is a topper in there. Of course, since our piece was a little wet, the topper's got a little wet too.
Yeah, you might want to do these in 2 days. Do all your water stuff.
Let it dry.
Yeah, rinse it, let it dry, and then do the base part.
All right. So we now have coins. There's our opening from our first piece.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we are going to stitch. This is basically the placement line for our last piece of gold leather that we have.
Right over there.
There's a lot of bulk underneath this.
Okay.
All right, now we are going to add the leather on top of that.
Of course we are. And I'm supposed to trim around that, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Alrighty then. You know, I was really excited about this. I thought it was so cute. Less cute at the moment.
There's a lot of pieces on top of this, for sure. If you have a machine that's maybe a little bit more finicky with bulk layers up there, you might want to maybe slow your speed down. You might need to adjust your presser foot height when you get here, if you have that as an option. But I can definitely see some people having a little bit of trouble with the
That
quantity
spot.
of bulk underneath
Yeah.
here. Yeah, you've got, you know, not just the thickness, but we've got leather underneath there. We have glitter vinyl. We have felt. We have, you know, a couple layers of stabilizer, all kinds of stuff underneath there. So you definitely, your needle's going through a variety of stuff. Okay, now we need to trim around the outside edges of this. Then we are going to do a placement for the rest of the glitter vinyl.
My goodness.
All right, with all of those little gold coins trimmed up, the next thing that we are going to do, keeping that same color in, is we're going to do the placement line for our last little piece of glitter vinyl. Now, in the previous version, when we did this, we were going to heat this up afterwards. You do not want to use heat at this point. So you're going to stitch this down and you're going to do all of the good stuff, but you are not going to add, you're not going to press on top of this. you've got some stuff that might melt. So we definitely don't want to do that. And this is going to be the last step for the embroidery part. Then we get to put it together. So you're going to need some glue. We're going to use EE 6000, and you could use a hot glue gun as well if you have that at home. Okay, so the last piece of stuff is going on top now. Here's our last bit of glitter vinyl. This isn't our first time making coins. This is like the third or the fourth project that we've done coins on. But I feel like they really upped the ante on these.
The numbers that you're putting
the quantity that you're putting in your hoop here, yeah. And again, that is that final stitch on the glitter vinyl here. It's not, you won't come back around and do anything else. You'll just rip up to that edge.
Not sure what I lost though.
What was that?
I dropped something, but I don't see what it is. Oh, probably wasn't important, right?
Right. Whew, that was a lot of stitching. All right,
Holy
so
crow.
now we just have to pull the vinyl off of this last little bit here. Then we need to trim the circle and cut the opening so that we can glue the legs in. So that's going to be fun.
Just a couple things more.
Just a couple things. All right.
All right,
So
I think I've got this acceptable.
acceptable. Okay, cool.
I've got our legs trimmed out. These, you're going to need to trim the tops first because you're going to trim without cutting the legs. You're going to trim the top there on the front and the back, and then you'll continue around and cut the rest together. So make sure that you don't overdo and cut into your leg there, because that would be super sad. We don't want to do that. Okay. The other thing is mine are not rinsed yet, but I've got as much stabilizer removed as I can here. These are all of our loose coins that we've got. So we've got that.
All right.
And ooh.
Sorry.
And then I'm assuming we're just going around the outside edge here.
Yep, it says to trim just on the outside edge of that decorative stitch. Don't cut through the decorative stitch.
These are my serrated Havel scissors. They're just a straight edge. They work really nice for this. Smaller areas is nice to not have too large of a blade.
They can't see you. Oh, there you go. Now, the Kimberbell instructions tell you to make sure that everything is all rinsed and dried and all that good stuff.
We're skipping that part.
We're skipping that part. So now what we need to do is we need to glue the legs in. So that's exactly what Lisa just did. That's exactly what you're doing. You're going to fold the embroidered jar topper base along the inner opening with the half that has the most coins facing towards you. Then you are going to carefully apply your glue along the entire inside of the lower opening.
Okay, where's it cutting?
It's not cutting, it's just the loose.
Oh, okay.
So right along.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
See,
Okay.
they're not
Yep,
they're
yep.
not attached there.
Got it. I thought I was cutting it.
Nope. So they get.
So this is going to go in here.
Yes.
And I'm going to put the edge, and I'm going to go in
just like that.
Just like yo.
Yep. And then you're going to glue that down.
Okay.
And then you literally just
where
glue.
Did I put that?
So then you just glue the rest of your pieces wherever you want
just
them.
Just loosely sprinkle them around.
And that's it.
So I've got my tube of glue here. I'm just going to shove some glue underneath in there. And then I'm going to push that back in a little farther because it wasn't, but my turning of it pushed it back out. So I've got my legs there. Okay. That's right. Okay, that's cute.
It's cute now.
It's cute.
And you can put as many of your little gold coins as you want around it.
So I'm just going to put a little bit. Again, I don't have these rinsed, so I don't want to do too much crazy here, but just adding dabs of glue. Remember, this has to go in your jar, so don't come out too far.
Exactly. And then when you put your jar handle or your jar topper on, the little cauldron handles are going to fit like over top of the lip of the edge, the handle.
Big strings. Oh, glued strings.
Lisa's like, I made them all, I'm putting them all on.
Dang it. You are not wrong. Another big string. Slippery little sucker. Okay. Oops, I missed one. I'll get it later. So there we have those cute little guys. So your handles are going to need to get folded in for that to go into your jar topper.
Yep. Make sure all your glue is dry before you shove it in, though.
Yeah, otherwise everything's just going to pop right back off.
Right.
And we don't want that. God forbid.
No, you worked hard on it. We know.
Yep. I'm right there with you guys.
All right. Well, we thank you very much for sticking around with us while we made our February digital dealer. It is still January while we're making this, so it's the last day of January. So you still got plenty of time to order a kit. Yes. Or pick up the design. Your designs will not appear in your Kimberbell account until February 1st.
Correct.
So even if you're watching it today and you want to stitch this today, you might have picked up your kit already, but the design won't be available until February 1st.
Yep.
So
that's
anything
what we
else?
have. No.
Okay. Goodness. I know, right? This
that was
long,
a lot. But
and
thanks for hanging out. And
yes.
I hope you enjoy it. It is absolutely adorable.
It is super adorable.
So have a great one. Bye, guys.